Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Nicole Orr, and I'm happy to be here representing RUHS Foundation. And Dr. Tabwinka means so much to RUHS, and that includes the foundation. He has served for many years as a board member, advising on our direction and our building of partnerships, and he is a philanthropist and inspired other donors and community members to join him in this work. This morning, you joined us in christening the Dr. Arnold Tabwinka Surgery Center. And I'm afraid we have one more thing to share, Dr. Tabwinka. I know Jen said it would be short, but one more thing. Dr. Leung idea here, so I'm going to call him in on this. But the call went out because years ago, Dr. Tabwinka established the Chief Medical Officer Fund. And it was because through his giving, he was helping with equipment, with education for our residents and other greatest needs of Riverside University Health System. Just a few days ago, Dr. Leung put out the call, and your colleagues and your organizations that you work with responded with a gift that is at $60,000 and counting to help continue the legacy of the Chief Medical Officer Fund and what Dr. Tabwinka is doing for our organization. So I promise that's it. We'll move to the next piece. Okay, so you all know the foundation well through our signature event, the Festival of Trees. I'm happy to say that our community stuck with us over the last 2 years and helped us bring almost $1 million to support our pediatric units through this one event. We also established the Pinwheels for Prevention campaign, a little different in that during the month of April, we joined our national communities in recognizing this time to raise awareness and funds for our Child Abuse and Neglect Unit, a service that's unique to Riverside University Health System. But I have to say that some of our favorite work might be happening a little more quietly behind the scenes. I promise not to read all of this to you, but I do want to highlight that over the last 2 years, we've been able to, with our community partners, raise more than $8 million to support our RUHS. A significant amount of that in scholarship for our medical residency, but also for pediatrics, women's health, trauma, and other services that are important to our community. In addition to this work to take care of Riverside County patients, our board of directors really recognize the value in caring for our caregivers, and that is where the idea of the Wellness Walkway was born. So our RUHS Foundation board of directors sets out priorities every 3 to 5 years or so, and that's where our real focus on peds, women's health, and trauma come from. But COVID really taught us and brought to light that we need to take care of our caregivers, and so we wanted to put some effort into that as well. The Wellness Walkway opened its first phase last fall with the support of Lowe's and several other community donors, beautifying part of the campus and providing a space where our colleagues can go to get some rest and beautiful outdoor spaces to support the kind of work environment that they really deserve. This Friday, the second phase of the Wellness Walkway will be installed with the beautification of all of our hospital patios and interior corridors so that we can have a place for our patients to appreciate and enjoy as well. Finally, a milestone, if not really the pinnacle of our RUHS Foundation's work over the last 33 plus years, was the opportunity to complete the expansion of the Riverside County Child Assessment Team Center. We moved them from inside the hospital to a space right outside on the same campus, more than double the square footage and the opportunity to really take care of more kids faster with the additional resources. This was fully donor funded. We raised more than $1.4 million to complete this work. And I'm very happy to share that the results are in and that after more than 1 year in the space, there were more than 12% additional forensic interviews completed and 18 more exams were made possible. So it is making a difference in the life of our kids and our families in Riverside County. But it's best to hear an update from the people who work there.
Children who suffer any type of abuse in their lives, they need that to be figured out properly. This multidisciplinary team in Riverside County comes together in a centralized location, which is our center.
When I think about our children who have been abused and neglected, And we need to understand a little bit more about what's happening in their situation. And so when they go into those doors of the Child Assessment Center, they have to overcome RUHS, the fear that this child is coming into the organization with. And so their support really helps us to understand what are the medical needs, what are the behavioral health needs, what type of support does this child need. And that's why I believe we can't do it without the experts that come from RUHS.
Trauma-informed response to any tragedy is the way to gain resilience, and that's what we really want to do here. The new space that we are in now, first of all, just upon driving in the driveway and parking, it's just easier to navigate. It's not as confusing. Then you walk into the doors and you're met with brightness and just a beautiful new setting that looks like a space that is already meant to comfort you.
The child-friendly and family-friendly environment is an indication that this is a place of support and warmth. It's important that families and children feel like their needs are being met.
So we tried our best in our old center to make sure people felt comfortable, but here it just feels like we have such a new opportunity. Even when the staff walked in for the first time, their faces brightened up and they were in awe.
For me personally, it's just full of emotions for me, because I knew this was something that was so deserving of the Riverside County families, and just being able to now open our doors in Riverside County and looking at our center and having that wow factor when you walk in, it's just undescribable.
The new center impacts my care for the kids because it's a much lighter, brighter space. We're able to grow because we have 3 times the number of exam rooms. Now we can see 3 times the number of children. This impacts the vulnerable children of Riverside County because rather than waiting, we can probably accommodate them within a very brief period of time.
Before emergency cases would come in and maybe we could help one. Now, we can see, 3 or 4 emergency cases, same day add-on cases. And so again, for them, being able to start services right away and being able to see right away, it's gonna make such an impact.
We have enough room for multiple families. We have 3 separate spaces that we can spread people out, and there's a lot more confidentiality and privacy, and a lot more space for us to have a full conversation with folks without worrying about if other people can hear. The kids and the caregivers are just gonna know that this is just really made for them, and that everything in the space is meant to help them feel comfortable and to give them that peace of mind that they're in good hands in the hardest time of their life.
To the donors that made this happen, I say thank you. You have no idea how much we appreciate this. I practically skip from the parking lot into my office because it's such a warm place. The type of work that we do is difficult, and it really helps to elevate the mood when you're in a space that feels welcoming and inviting. And a million times thank you.